A very good morning to all of you. Honorable Principal Sir, Professor Ashwi Sharma, esteemed speaker and chief guest, Professor Rajesh P. Khambayat, former Joint Director, Pandit Sundarlal Sharma, Central Institute of Vocational Education, presently working as a professor in National Institute of Teacher टेक्निकल टीचर एजुकेशन भोपाल। एक स्वागत करने के लिए और इनका परिचय देने के लिए मैं हमारे संस्थान के प्रमुख प्रोफेसर एशवी शर्मा सर को आमंत्रित करता हूं। सर प्लीज।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आनंद जी। आपने बिल्कुल ही सटीक कहा कि आप कोई परिचय की मोहताज नहीं है। आप एक ऐसी शख्सियत हैं जो टेक्निकल एजुकेशन और वोकेशनल एजुकेशन दोनों में एक समान महारत हासिल है। जब ये तय हुआ कि हमें एनसीईआरटी का फाउंडेशन डे मनाना है तो अचानक हमारे दिमाग में आया कि किसको इनवाइट करें। तो ऑल ऑफ ए सडन साथ ही साथ में किसको इनवाइट करें के साथ में दिमाग में उसका उत्तर भी आ गया कि प्रोफेसर राजेश पी खम्बायत जी से अच्छा हमारे लिए कोई व्यक्ति नहीं है जिनको हम इस अवसर पर इनवाइट करता हूं कि सर आप जो विषय है उस पर आप टॉपिक पर डेलिब्रेशन प्रारंभ करें। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
A very good morning to all of you. This is not a good voice. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
It's still not a good voice. Very good morning. अब लग रहा है थोड़ा नेटवर्क आ रहा है। I'm sorry, my voice is not very good today. First of all, very respected Dr. Sharma sir, Principal of Institute of Education, Ajmer. Respected Dr. Mishra ji, Dr. Thakur ji, former Principal of RIE-NCERT, Dr. Anand coordinating करने का। सबसे important आज के आप सभी distinguished faculty of this institution. As I could see, there are many young students also who are going to be graduating this year. और सभी faculty and the staff of this campus. सबसे पहले मैं अपनी ओर से एनसीईआरटी के परिवार को अपनी शुभ संदेश देना चाहता हूँ। और जब ये मुझे इनविटेशन आया शर्मा सर के द्वारा तो मुझे लगा कि दिस इज आल्सो a gratitude I can pay back to NCERT by coming here. That was the major reason I should come here. And second important thing was the, NCERT has given me name, fame, everything in the last 5 years. So I thought it is the best tribute. Am I loud enough? No?
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought this may be a small tribute I can pay back to NCERT family and also to meet all of you. हिंदी अंग्रेजी मिक्स चलेंगे? मेरी दोनों कमजोर है इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ। आपने जैसे सुना कि वोकेशनल एजुकेशन में काफी सारा काम करने का सौभाग्य मुझे मिला PSSCIB में पिछले 5 सालों में। मुझे लगता है इससे अच्छा एक ऑनर क्या हो सकता है कि you get a national platform to work for vocational education in the country and for hundreds and thousands of students across India. And that's why I took this as an opportunity. आप सब जानते हैं national education policy strongly advocate vocational education. But at the same time, we all have to also understand कि आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में why policy is highlighting vocational education. Many of you are teachers, and that's why it is very important to know that most of the jobs, to be more precise with you, 80% of the jobs today require some kind of skills as per UNESCO. So don't think that skills means only, a specific section of the people. So skills are emerging, skills are demanded by any kind of occupation. And that's why vocational education can be a good vehicle for promoting skill development. Again, the irony is that, a country like us, which is 1.4 billion country almost, you can say, only 5% of the people between the age of 19 to 24 has received any formal vocational education. I repeat, only 5% of the students between the age group of 19 to 24 has received any formal vocational education. If you compare the countries like USA, if you compare countries like, Germany, Finland, and, so many countries I can tell you. Like South Korea, where almost 96% of the population has received formal vocational education. So you see where we stand 5%, where we stand 96 against South Korea. आपको जानकर आश्चर्य होगा कि साउथ कोरिया और भारत 1947 में इंडिपेंडेंट हुए. See our journey, their journey. Of course, in terms of size, population, we cannot compare ourselves with South Korea, but the journey started together. But see the importance Korea has given on, vocational education, skill development has really boosted their economy to big four. Nevertheless, we started lately, but I'm happy to tell you, the vocational education is taking a big leap in our country. If I give you statistics today, today there are 13,000 schools from 27 states and union territories are offering vocational education. And 1.3 million students are taking the benefit of vocational courses. So I think it's a big leap. We started with 40 schools in Haryana, for your information. Today there are 13,000 schools across India. So a handful of students getting, today 1.3 million students are taking the benefit of vocational education. And this has happened in the last couple of years. And as you know, the National Education Policy strongly advocate the 50% of the learners to be, connected from school education to higher education through vocational education. तो मुझे विश्वास है कि अगले 2-3 सालों में these numbers are going to be double, triple, multifold. It will be happening. And in this context, PSSCIB has taken many, very interesting initiatives. And I will request all of you to visit the website, visit some of my presentations on YouTube, and all that one. One important thing I also wish to share with you, because of NCERT, I was fortunate that I was consulted by one of the esteemed members of National Education Policy on vocational education. And I strongly advocated for reaching vocational education to the 50% of the learners. I was asked कि 50% क्यों कह रहे हैं आप? मैंने कहा हम सब जानते हैं. Why not 10%? Why not 15%? Why not 25%? I said, having seen the past performances, if our target is not very ambitious, we are likely to fall down in our target. And that's why let it be 50%. We'll try. We know we may not reach 50%, but even we reach 30%, 35%, things are going to change in a big way in India. One of the reasons why this is not happening, there are multiple reasons you can find out. The policy also gives you that, so far our vocational education was only for जो बच्चा पढ़ाई में अच्छा नहीं है, या जो बच्चे हमारा फोकस केवल ड्रॉप आउट्स पे होता है या 11वीं 12वीं तक की. दूसरा एक प्रॉब्लम ये था कि the student who have taken vocational education have no vertical mobility, and that was also restricting the movement of students entering into vocational education. So slowly, vocational education became a dead end for the student who are taking up. And that's why it is for the first time in India that vocational education will be starting from school education to the higher education in a very structured way. and hopefully by 2035, 50% of the institutions will be offered. That includes all the higher education institutions, general education as well as technical education, polytechnic, everywhere vocational education are going to be introduced. So there are many interesting development happening in field of vocational education. I don't want to project that I have done great work on all that. It is a team. So all the entire team of PSSCI and a well-wisher like you, we are able to do nationally and internationally. लेकिन आज जो मैं विषय आपके सामने लेके आया हूँ, can I continue? You were so silent, I was studying. So today, I thought of talking to you on a very interesting and very common topic. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
I talked a lot on vocational education, so I thought let's bring some change in the discussion. Is it fine? I'll be sharing a PowerPoint presentation with you, and I hope our diverse audience will find some interest in this one. Give me 1 minute to set up the presentation, and then thinking whether it is a Bhopal, whether it is Pakistan, or whether it is Bangladesh, across South Asia, employers are talking about positive attitude, positive thinking. तो इसी को लेकर हम लोग जो है आज की बात करेंगे इस प्रेजेंटेशन में कि हम कैसे क्योंकि we are all teachers and you will say sir what is the end of the session we are going to learn. That's why this quickly 3 or 4 lesson plan template introduction, development and then. So you will appreciate what is the significance of attitude and how it plays a very important role in all our professional sense. You'll also understand what are the different components of vocational, positive attitude and excellence in this context. We'll also identify what are the major factors which govern our attitude. And finally, we'll also discuss about what would be the innovative ways and approaches we can adopt ourselves to cultivate the right attitude for enhancing our professional excellence. Let me start with the story. Is it fine? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
I think, when we were all young kids, although I could see many of you are as a parent here also, you are taking them to, for fun, maybe garden mein, ya jaise yahan par lake hai, what is that name? Anand Sharma lake. I'm sure you must have taken your young kids while they are in the school days and all that. और आपने अक्सर देखा होगा कि there is always a balloon sailor sailing the balloons. I'm sure. और मुझे भी याद है when I was very young child, my father used to take me to a garden, and you can see, I also had the fun of releasing the balloon into the air and all that. थोड़ी देर मान लीजिए हम अजमेर में हैं and there is a balloon sailor doing this one, and this was happening every day. आप आज भी देख सकते हैं जब जब उसका बिजनेस डाउन होता है to attract the young children they will release 1 or 2 balloons into the air. आपने देखा होगा और ये जैसे हवा में गुब्बारा को कुछ चीज को लगाते हुए everybody want to also get that kind of experience. तो ये रोज अजमेर में हो रहा था और 2 young children, very young, देखिए the beautiful face, the innocent smile on the young kid's face, beautiful, so captivating. तो ये रोज देख रहे थे कि balloon sailor is releasing the balloon into the air. And one day, interestingly, this young chap asked a very interesting question to this balloon sailor. He said, what will happen if I release a black balloon? Whether it will also go up into the air. See, very interesting question. Look at this. If I release a black balloon into the air, whether it will also go up in the air. पर मजेदार बात ये है कि जो balloon sailor ने जवाब दिया, उसने कहा, son, it is not the color of the balloon. It is what is that inside that makes it go up. I think this analogy is very interesting to understand. आप तो सभी experts हैं. देखिए, balloon we all represent different colors. Different colors, you know, British, whitish, जो भी बोलिए आप. We represent different colors in this room. I could see so many, you know, vibrant colors in this room. But you see, there are few people in this institution or any organization, irrespective of their color, size, shape. Some people you will always find full of energy, full of life. Have you seen that? You always catch it. You always see the vibration. You see their aura. You feel their presence. At the same time, you also feel another way. There are people, you know, having blessed in their life, but don't have life. Agree?
Yes.
So I could see your smile on the face. So always remember whether you are, there is a life in you. Chale, can I continue?
Yes.
You can stop me anytime. You know? Another analogy to understand this complex issue. Iceberg. I know you live in a desert. You don't, not likely to see unless क्या बोलते हैं इसको iceberg. और हमारे यहाँ अंग्रेजी के प्रोफेसर्स फैकल्टी हो, you know, often we heard tip of the ice, right? Or just a tip of ice means a very small portion of iceberg is really visible on the surface, but the rest lies beneath the surface of the water. I hope you have seen iceberg somewhere. फिल्मों में तो देखा ही होगा. Which film? How many of you watched? Including me. And you know, iceberg was one of the major fundamental reasons why Titanic has to meet with that disaster and all that. अब इसका वजह क्या है? Why I'm bringing here? You know, this iceberg phenomena is also applicable to the local ways. That includes you, that includes me also. Okay? Iceberg. जैसे I told you, you know, only 10% as a thumb rule is visible on the surface, but beneath 90% is not visible to all of us on that. So actually, when we interact with other people, when we talk to them, you know, people judge you. People judge you on knowledge and skills which you have. But 90%, what is inside you, that is 90% attitude you know. Actually, hota kya hai? You know, you try to judge any individual through your behavior. Don't get conscious. Your body language is a reflection of your behavior. तो ये जो हमारा behavior है, ये बहुत कुछ कह देता है, बहुत कुछ कह देता है. लेकिन जब हम लोगों से बात करते हैं, लोगों को आपके values, आपके standards, आपके judgment, आपके motives, ethics, beliefs, ये तो शब्द है अलग-अलग आपको समझाने के लिए, to make you understand this one. But they are all summed together within you. Correct? These are all within you. But to make you understand, I'm just using different phrases like knowledge, beliefs, value, standard, judgment, motives. But मजेदार बात ये है, whatever you have, this value system, whatever standard judgment you have, they get reflected in your behavior. So the impact of your behavior actually comes from this within. Okay, so think about it whenever your behavior. चलो आगे.
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of a very beautiful quote by William James. He said, the greatest discovery of any generation, previous generation, our generation and forthcoming generation also, is that a human being can alter his or is included here, his or her life by altering only his attitude. You know, there was a global survey by one of the very prestigious institutions, और ये जानने की कोशिश करते थे कि लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट में किस बेसिस पे सिलेक्ट किया जाता है? वो तो मजेदार बात निकल के आई कि केवल 15% लोगों को, कितना? Only 15% of the people got employment because of how smart they are, how good they are in the presentation. लेकिन 85% of the people got employment because of the attitude they have demonstrated during the interview. और मेरा यकीन है इस बात में कि many of us sitting in this hall, if we are here as an employee or employer, because of the attitude we have demonstrated during the interview. Think about it. उदाहरण दे दो एक से जो many of you I can see, working ladies here, working faculties are also here. हम एक छोटी सी एक मेड घर पे रखते हैं काम के लिए. क्या सवाल पूछते हैं आप उसको हायर करने के पीछे? What do you ask? बताइए. This is all academic. क्या पूछते हैं? डायरेक्ट सैलरी पूछते हैं? You ask her, do you have any prior experience? आप खड़ा तो नहीं करोगे, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? मतलब you will not be taking a lot of breaks or all that. मतलब you see her loyalty, you see her commitment, you see her regularity. Am I right? You see her honesty during the interrogations you do with her. Am I right? And if you find all these tick, and even if he or she demands, say, 500 extra or 1,000 rupees, you don't mind paying because you know he or she is the right candidate which he or she will be able to work for. तो देखिए एक छोटा सा जॉब, 3,000, 4,000 salary job. We are also conscious about judging an individual on attitude. Think about the teachers across India. Is it not our responsibility to take those teachers, those who have the right kind of attitude expected? तो देखिए एटीट्यूड की जब हम बात करते हैं, एटीट्यूड जो है ना एक जेनेरिक पार्ट हो सकता है for every one of us, like punctuality, honesty, and all these common elements will be there. But at the same time, it can be occupation specific. मतलब काम के प्रति जैसे थोड़ी देर मान लो हमारा ये जो हॉल है, इसमें अगर हम किसी व्यक्ति को काम के लिए रखते, जैसे क्या बोलते हैं हाउसकीपिंग स्टाफ जो होता है फॉर एग्जांपल, उसमें भी वही होना चाहिए, टाइमली आना चाहिए, सफाई अच्छे से करना चाहिए, वगैरह वगैरह ये सब होना चाहिए. लेकिन साथ साथ कॉन्शियसनेस भी होना चाहिए कि सरकारी पैसा है तो उसका डिटर्जेंट का इस्तेमाल बिना सोचे समझे करना, फिनाइल, झाड़ू, पोछा, छोटी छोटी चीजें, बट इट मैटर्स. जब हमारे घर में हम फिनाइल का यूज करते क्या कहते हैं, वी आर कॉन्शियस अबाउट using it, so miserly. But if it is in RIE, no problem. Sharma sir, देख लेंगे. See, this is so the context. So this is the attitude. एक टीचर के लिए क्या attitude होना चाहिए? बताइए. What is the most important attitude for a teacher like you? The most important attitude is not only he or she should possess knowledge and skills, but the most important attribute of a teacher in terms of attitude is sharing knowledge, sharing expertise. That is the most vital attitude expected by a teacher. केवल PhD होने से, 10 publication होने से, patent होने से, but if he or she is not willing to share his knowledge and expertise, then I think he may be an extraordinary professor, but probably the students may not be looking at him as a role model, right? तो सवाल ये आता है कि क्या एटीट्यूड का जो प्रश्न है, क्या आज के जनरेशन में था या पहले भी रहा होगा? क्या बोलते हैं आप? You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. It existed in 16th century, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th century. It all existed in different forms at different times. बिल्कुल सही कहा. तो ये सवाल जो था to find out why this attitude issue is there. Sometimes attitude ये एक ऐसा शब्द है, हम casually बोलते हैं बहुत attitude दिखा रहा है. या कई बार हम कहते हैं बहुत attitude में है. As a layman we talk about it. तो ये जो mystery थी, why, how to puzzle, find out this solution to this puzzle. There are many people who work on this one. फिलोसोफर्स भी है, साइकोलॉजिस्ट भी है, एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट है, एकेडमिशियंस है, आपके जैसे बिग थिंकर्स, सब लोग इसमें सोच रहे थे, and they come up with two hypotheses. And first hypothesis was that why do people behave? Okay? Why do people behave? I am not saying good or bad. Why do people behave? And second important hypothesis was that why do people behave as they behave? अब यहाँ आता है कि अगर कोई अच्छा व्यक्ति अच्छा बर्ताव कर रहा है, तो why he or she is behaving good, and if he or she is not behaving good, so what is the reason? Or why he is rational or irrational, whatever it is. तो इसके जब सवाल उन्होंने ढूंढे, तो मजेदार जो बात आई कि इस सब का निदान जो है, it reflects on one point word, that is personality. You know, all of us have physically different personality. Shape, size, weight, color, everything is different. Personality की अगर हम बात करेंगे, गूगल में जाएंगे तो आप लाखों डेफिनेशन आपको मिलेंगे personality. I'm not going to bore with you definition. Only one definition I will take here. Personality is a dynamic organization. After some education, I don't have to illustrate the entire definition. Dynamic मतलब मैं थोड़ा उसको modify करना चाहूँगा. Keeps evolving. You look at your photographs. शादी के पहले के फोटोग्राफ बाद में you see of those
फोटोग्राफ तो रिटायरमेंट से पहले के
of those psychophysical system which determine his or her unique adjustment with the environment, his characteristic behavior and एक उदाहरण के लिए हमारे आदरणीय प्रिंसिपल सर हैं, थोड़ी देर he was the हमारे पूरे परिवार के मुखिया हैं या फ्रंट डेस्क करते हैं, जैसे प्रेजेंटेशन या डिस्कशन चालू हो गया, as a a lifelong learner, immediately he put down paper notes. Unique adjustment with the environment. He immediately changed his role from principal to a learner, quickly, without any listening. This is a learning. So how quickly he or she adapt to this environment is very, very important. Psychophysical system. Psychophysical system काफी सारी बातों से गवर्न करता है, और उसमें आता है मोटिवेशन, हमारा इंटरेस्ट, हमारा एटीट्यूड, हमारा वैल्यूज और हमारा आज का भी विषय हमारा एटीट्यूड के ऊपर है. I will mainly focus on attitude. कभी ईश्वर ने चाहा और हम कभी दोबारा मिलेंगे क्या? कम आवाज आ रही है. Don't worry. So then maybe some other time I will talk to you on motivation, values, interests and habits. Let's focus on attitude. Attitude की जब हम बात करते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है situations के साथ अगर हम समझेंगे तो जल्दी आपको समझ में आएगा. You may be a faculty, you may be head of department. आपने किसी आपके अधीन मेरे साथी को काम के लिए दिया, and he respond this way. One response is like this: I can't do the work. और दूसरा response है I don't want to do the work. क्या difference है दोनों?
ये कौन सा ऐड कर दी, मैं क्या करूं?
बहुत अच्छा. This is also
बड़ा विचलित हो रहा है.
Do you find any difference in these two responses? I can't do the work and I don't want to do the work. Any response?
सर इसमें एफर्ट की बात आता है. सर एफर्ट
की बात. और
willingness, mental readiness.
अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा. और I hope you are enjoying, no? देखिए पहला बात है I can't do the work. It also reflects.
मैं एक प्रश्न कर सकता हूँ क्या?
हाँ.
ऑनलाइन
Knowledge. Oh yes.
यस प्लीज.
हाँ, प्रोफेसर, अभी जो आपके डिस्कशन मैं सुन रहा हूँ वाकई बहुत प्रभावी है, और जो टॉपिक आज का है एटीट्यूड का है। मैं ये देख रहा हूँ कि टीचर्स के अंदर और स्टूडेंट के अंदर, और बल्कि पूरे समाज के अंदर ईमानदारी गायब हो रही है। ऐसा क्यों सर? टीचर्स के अंदर भी ईमानदारी नहीं दिख रही है, स्टूडेंट के अंदर भी नहीं, अभिभावक के अंदर भी नहीं है। यानी टोटल समाज में अगर देखा जाए पूरे सिनेरियो में, तो ईमानदारी शब्द गायब हो रही है, और ईमानदारी के अंदर बहुत सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं।
चलेगा।
क्या सिलेबस में कमी है, या हमारे एफर्ट्स में कमी है? ये तो तय है कि टीचर्स में कमी अवश्य कहीं ना कहीं है।
राइट, विल कम बैक टू यू सर। बहुत अच्छा ऑब्जर्वेशन है आपका। देखिए, आई कांट डू द वर्क, इसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है कि ही लैक नॉलेज, he lack the skills, he also lack the resources, the technology, yeah, machinery, yeah, tools. This also, limits you to carry out the work. This can also be one possibility. But जैसे आपने secondly कहा कि I don't want to the work, it strongly advocate this internal willingness to do it or not. और अक्सर हम लोग, जैसे अभी सर कह रहे थे, कहीं कहीं हम लोग कभी न कभी ऐसे responses in a different form of language we offer. दोनों का सॉल्यूशन क्या हो? सेम होगा, अलग अलग होगा? अलग होगा। तो पहले वाले में क्या करेंगे हम लोग? We'll provide him training, we'll give him motivation, we'll give him technology, resources, software, hardware, जो भी चाहिए वो सब देंगे। लेकिन मुझे बताइए, I don't want to do, क्या करेंगे आप? तो आपके पास कोई मैजिक फॉर्मूला है? Please tell people and take the formula from me. So unfortunately, we are yet to come up with the WIX 44 formula. You know WIX 44? It's a formula. So we have to also find out. I don't want to do the work. So this is the issue. So you as a teacher, you as a parent, you as an administrator, you have to also understand that these two issues are very entirely different. First is related to knowledge and skills maybe, but the second issue is predominantly talking about the attitude aspect. So you have to deal differently. You cannot adopt the same standard, same language. Every one of us want to be a successful in their life, irrespective of where you start the journey. तो एक टीचर के लिए सक्सेस होने के लिए, जैसे मैंने पहले बताया कि you also need knowledge and skill, but equally required is attitude. So success composed of ability, and also more important is willingness to do the job. चलिए, then what question is, what is their attitude? जैसे हमने पर्सनैलिटी की डेफिनेशन को सर्च किया, you can also search on attitude and you will again find hundreds and thousands of definitions. Just take one definition to illustrate the point. Attitude, is an inward feeling expressed by behavior. आप मेरा सेशन एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, how much you are with me, don't get conscious. I can judge you on your behavior. So what is going inside? Some of you might be waiting for the lunch. Sharma sir, you can stop anytime. Second is a predisposition to react in certain ways. कई बार देखिए किस लोगों का एक ऐसा एक टेम्परामेंट होता है, माइंडसेट होता है, भले उनके भले की बात है, but they will always look you always from a negative perspective, always from a negative, rather than you are talking their interest, their benefit. So it's a predisposition of the people to react. उससे भी दमदार बात है, जो मैं ज़्यादा विश्वास करता हूँ, it's an outward expression of your values. I repeat, it's an outward expression of your values. अभी जो बात निकली, अभी जो ऑनलाइन सर ने रिस्पॉन्स दिया, that is exactly कि हमारी वैल्यू सिस्टम क्या है, and that is reflected on our attitude. तो अभी तक देखिए हमने क्या बात की कि all of you all possess ability, you are all capable. RIE में हम लोग अक्सर साल भर अलग अलग ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, टॉप टू बॉटम लेवल पे स्टूडेंट्स तक के लिए, इवन कम्युनिटी तक हम लोग प्रोग्राम करते हैं, एंड पीपल वी ट्राई टू बिल्ड देयर एबिलिटीज. कई बार हम उनको फाइन ट्यून करते हैं, फिनिशिंग देते हैं ताकि देयर एटीट्यूड स्केलिंग, अपस्केलिंग, रीस्केलिंग करके उनकी एबिलिटीज को एनहांस करते हैं. साथ we also try to motivate them. Correct? We also try to do motivation. But the most important thing is ये जो उन्होंने हासिल की है ability, whatever motivation they have brought to your interaction between short-term program or long-term program, how they will do at their workplace will be entirely dependent on their ability. Okay, but as a teacher, you have to take many sessions, topics, and all that. You have ability. You have been motivated by your heads, principal, वगैरह वगैरह. But आप classroom में कैसे delivery करेंगे? To what extent you will exert yourself? To what extent you will try to do the best of your ability? Will again come back to you. Correct? Agree? How many of you agree with this? तो attitude is going to determine कि आपका impact training का क्या हुआ, lecture का, even my session, this interaction with us, how you are going to use in your day-to-day life will be entirely on your attitude. Attitude की अगर हम बात करेंगे तो कई तरीके से हम सोचते हैं, क्योंकि आज हमारा foundation day है. You all know NCERT के vision, you all know NCERT के mission, targets, values of the NCERT के targets, NEP के target भी हमारे सामने वगैरह. तो मैं एम्प्लॉय के नाते मैं देखना चाहूंगा आपको कि व्हेन यू जॉइन दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, मान लीजिए थोड़ी देर आप यूर इन अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट और शॉर्ट टर्म असाइनमेंट, नाउ यू गॉट अ रेगुलर जॉब इन एनसीईआरटी, तो नेचुरली यू फील प्राउड टू बी एसोसिएटेड विद एनसीईआरटी and you also get internal satisfaction. Now I have a long-term career with this organization, a secure career and all that, financially also. So this is the first stage where you draw a lot of satisfaction within you. कि मैंने जो भी PhD किया, NET किया, वगैरह, and it finally ended up getting this recognized job. जो second stage होती है वो होती है job involvement. जैसे जैसे आप RI में काम करना शुरू करते हैं या किसी भी organization में काम कर रहे हैं, your involvement stage. तो apart from teaching, आप assessment का भी काम कर रहे हैं, practical काम कर रहे हैं, extension lectures, community engagement, so many things you do, cultural activities, sport activities, annual day, whatever, so many things. So धीरे-धीरे you get involved into day-to-day activities of the organization. लेकिन मेरा ये कहना है कि धीरे-धीरे जो third stage वो है organizational commitment. आप देखेंगे किसी भी organization, experiment, audition, in any organization, 10% 15%. Only 10 to 15% of the people really reach to that stage of organizational commitment. उनकी हर सांस आ रही है. आप जानते हो उनको, आप पहचानते हो उनको, बताने की जरूरत है. Many of us fall into 9 to 5:30 job, but there are people who are rested, who are doing any kind of sacrifice for this institution. तो उनका पर्सनैलिटी, उनका आरा, उनका सोचने का तरीका इस इंस्टीट्यूशन के लिए लाजवाब है. तो हमको सोचना है कि क्या हम वो हैं? Am I the one in that organization? आज हम फाउंडेशन डे मना रहे, तो मुझे लगता है कि this is also a reflection to all of us. That includes me also. Do I possess into that 10 to 15% of the people who are strongly having values, commitment to the institution they are working? हमारी जो एटीट्यूड होती है कई फैक्टर से गवर्न करती है. सबसे पहले है एजुकेशन. आज जैसे हमने एक इंटरेक्शन रखा कि to make you understand what is attitude and its intricacies and how we can cultivate and all that. The more aware you are, the more educated you are about this concept, probably you will give more values. एक layman हो सकता है, he may not pay more values to this attitude. Experience. You have a good experience, you extend it further. You have a bad experience, now you have a choice. You extend it or stop it. It all choice is yours. जैसे कल का एक मजेदार किस्सा, I was talking with my friend Anand. I was traveling from Jaipur to Ajmer. A taxi driver who was bringing me all the way here. I was not keeping well yesterday. All my voice with nothing. Out of his, there were phone calls coming to me, and he he was getting a feel that I am not keeping well. While on the way, he said, "Sir, ऐसा है हमारे गांव में देसी नुस्खा है, हम जो है दूध में चुआरे लो, ड्राई डेट्स, उसको अच्छे से उबाल लिया जाए, तो आपको काफी रिलीफ मिलेगा." और बोले कि जैसे आप बता रहे कि कल आपका कोई सेशन है, प्रेजेंटेशन है, तो मुझे लगता है कि आप दिस वन इट विल रियली हेल्प। तो मैंने बोला मैं कहाँ से see, he don't know me, I don't know him. He said, "You don't worry, I will bring it from my home." Can you believe this? Experience. And he brought it yesterday night. It's not, I have the photographs of it. He came to see me at 9 o'clock. Brought milk with chuaras on boil, whatever it is. See the attitude. This is. अब मान लीजिए नहीं स्ट्रेंजर के साथ ये एक्सपीरियंस होता है. So now I have a choice. If something happens someone with this need, I am also going to extend this kind of experience because I have benefited with this experience. Correct? So this is experience. The third is environment. I think environment के बारे में तो जितनी बात की जाए उतने कम है. Environment तो हमारे घर से शुरू होता है. How is our environment at home? Positive है, negative. You are all parents. You have to think of it. How you shape the attitude of your children, your partner. Second important, a lot of space, time we invest in our organization. How is our environment in this institution? Is it very healthy, very congenial, supportive, team working, cooperation, everything is there. And you see, you can outperform. I repeat, an average teacher can outperform if he or she has been provided a right environment. Third is, social environment, हमारा media. You open up any news, right? क्या होता है? 20 people dead, 30 people this, all negative news. News खोलिए, channel पे भी वही. So, continuously when you are bombarded with such kind of news, slowly, knowingly, unknowingly, you also become self-aware. You become over-conscious about yourself. You feel this place is not safe enough to live. Correct? तो I remember कि एक कोई बहुत बड़ा प्रेस क्लब ऑफ इंडिया का कोई बहुत बड़ा सेलिब्रेशन, very respected हमारे लेट प्रेसिडेंट साहब कलाम साहब उसके चीफ गेस्ट. He said, as a president, पूरे देश विदेश के अफगान उनको सुबह ब्रीफिंग के लिए आते हैं. And he stripped every day. Every president is stripped. What is happening nationally and internationally. तो जब हम न्यूज़पेपर खोलते हैं तो हम पहले पेज पे ये न्यूज़ देखते हैं. क्या ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि जब हम फ्रंट पेज खोले न्यूज़पेपर, if the news can bring smile on the faces of the reader, bring smile, bring hope, bring inspirations, bring positive news. Everything is not bad in this world. There are many good people doing relentlessly good work across the world. Why not we bring them on the front page so people feel happy about themselves, people feel happy about their country, people feel happy about their community and all that. And you'll be happy to know. Dainik Bhaskar has started this initiative, and every Monday, you can see online also, every Monday they say there will be no negative news. So media can also play a big role as an environment. इसके अलावा cultural, though India is such a big country, we have cultural background. हम तो mini India है इस कमरे में, correct? So our traditions, our beliefs, हमारा जो social, political environment है, these are all impact our attitude. Okay, so because time is less, otherwise we could have given many other examples. अब थोड़ा सा और डीप में जाते हैं. जब हम एटीट्यूड की बात करते हैं, I think you are all familiar with positive attitude and negative. Correct? Every one of us know what is. Nothing big about it. Positive attitude की जब हम बात करते हैं, how will you identify a person with positive attitude? क्या characteristics हो सकती हैं? Anybody, please? How will you differentiate? Yes, this gentleman is optimistic, very good thought. Supportive. Motivation.
Showing interest, provides resources.
Yes.
Showing interest.
Showing interest.
Reinforcement.
You know, there are many factors and features you can talk about attitude. He will be always independent, very generous, optimistic, enthusiastic, courageous, patient, energetic, clever, imaginative, witty, adaptable. Humor is also included here. Surprisingly, humor is also a positive trademark of positive attitude person. Loyal, responsible. I don't need to explain you all this. You have all experienced it, but you have not come out with because of the time factor. You know, we all know कि positive attitude के कितने सारे फायदे हैं. Increased productivity, relationship, team working, problem solving. एक healthy environment, you know, a congenial environment you can just create, whether it is department, your office, your home, your family. So there are so many, you know, tangible and intangible benefit one can have just having the positive attitude. पॉजिटिव की बात की तो हमको नेगेटिव की भी थोड़ी सी चर्चा होनी चाहिए. So negative attitude. How will you identify a negative person?
Pessimistic.
Pessimistic, very true. Or complaining. That's all.
And discouraging.
Discouraging, yes.
Cunning.
Yes. Or
Dominant.
dominating.
Procrastination.
Irresponsible.
Procrastination, absolutely right. Yeah. Or irresponsible, yes, absolutely true.
Gossiping.
Gossiping, absolutely true. Negative motivation. तो आप देखेंगे जब मैंने पॉजिटिव के एटीट्यूड के रिस्पॉन्स देखे तो आप देखिए नेगेटिव में कितने बड़ा It doesn't mean that I'm saying you are negative, but you are you know, negative attitude is something like a flat tire. You know, अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं. और फ्लैट टायर की कहानी ये होती है कि जब तक हम उसको रिपेयर नहीं करें, प्लीज रिमेंबर, रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा, मॉडिफाई करना पड़ेगा, रिप्लेस करना पड़ेगा, चेंज करना पड़ेगा, तब तक आपकी गाड़ी आगे नहीं चलेगी. So attitude is something, negative attitude, bad attitude is something that he or she should have to, you know, change this flat tire. तो देखिए थोड़ा अपने आप को भी जज करिए. Negative attitude people are always, you know, lazy, always self-pity. बहुत है यार, शर्मा सर ने इतना काम दे दिया है देखो. Jealous. You don't feel pride, you don't feel happiness. I repeat, you don't feel happiness in someone's prosperity, growth, you know, achievements. You don't feel happy. Jealousy. Unimaginative, possessive, materialistic, showy, suspicious, melodramatic, spectacle, reserved, arrogant, you know, inflexible. Positive people will be always flexible, adaptable, adaptable, dependent, cold. Cold समझते हैं आप? Emotionless. कई बार हम हैंडशेक करते देखें, ऐसा डेड फिश जैसा हाथ सामने आएगा. You don't get that. Arrogant, stubborn. So, मैं आपसे आग्रह करूँगा, आप शांति से बाद में देखिएगा अपने आप को. और कहीं अगर ऐसा लगता है कि you really need to look at this one to bring more positive toward this, that we become self-aware, self-conscious about all those things. एक छोटी सी स्टोरी मुझे याद आ रही, पता नहीं आपने सुनी होगी. I have so many stories, but शर्मा सर मुझे घंटी दिखा रहे इसमें. You can stop me. You can stop me anytime. I can break for lunch or we can stop this. But this is an interesting story. I'm sure you must have seen on WhatsApp or some other media. एक convict था, उसको डेथ की सेंटेंस सुनाई ऑलरेडी जेल में convict. और आप सब जानते हैं कि जब डेथ वारंट आता है तो डॉक्टर्स get a warrant. You know this?
Yes.
You should know this. The doctors also get involved because medically they have to declare he or she is right. So 2 doctors were assigned to carry forward the death warrant. So ये दोनों जो doctors थे, they went there into the place where he was going to be convicted. So they have gone through this death warrant and all that. And one of the doctor, उन्होंने कहा कि let us do some experiment. ये convict तो करना ही हमको, death warrant को execute करना. Let's do some experiment of this one. And they do it, and they go back to the convict. So बताएं कि this is your death warrant. बोले हम लोग आपको 2-3 options देते हैं, and you make a choice. So the first choice is they say hang till death, and you just hang him, and this is one option. Second option we would like to give you is electric shock. Electric chair पे हम बिठा देंगे और high voltage के साथ infuse minutes ज़्यादा ही हो, seconds it will be out. वैसे जैसे hang till death में within few seconds you finish. Electric chair में भी same. Third is बोले we will inject poison intravenous injection देंगे और उसके माध्यम से and that poison will spread and this. And we are adding you 4th option. 4 option. No helpline. And 4th option we are adding here is that एक cobra, cobra snake, poisonous snake, वो आपके कमरे में हम छोड़ेंगे और वो जैसे आपको टच करेगा, naturally you will be dead. सिर्फ इसका फर्क ये होगा कि you will be alive till the snake is not touching. बाकी सब आपको मालूम. तो बोले we'll give you overnight time to think about it, कि which option you would like to choose. And they come back. Second day again, both the doctor go and see the convict. पूछते क्या आपने final choice किया, क्या lock कर दिया जाए. Then he was whole night he was reflecting. If I go for the ये वाला, तो ये तो within few seconds finish. Second electric shock सोच के समझ में आता है आपको. हम लोग सभी कभी महसूस किया होगा minor shock. So if it is even higher than that, what will happen? This is also terrifying. सोच के ही आता है. फिर बोला poison, this is also dangerous. मेरे body में क्या होगा? All those things, very horrifying to think about it. Only 4th option seems to be better. See here now you start valuing the life. इसे कम से कम यहाँ एक है कि जब तक snake मुझे टच नहीं करेगा, I will have extended life. Are you looking at it? Listen to me. Now you start valuing your life. Otherwise you don't value your life. तो बोले एटलीस्ट मुझे एक्सटेंडेड सांसें मिलेंगी, एक्सटेंडेड मिनट्स मिलेंगे, whatever you say, till the snake is touching. Fine. Finally decide होता है, उसको कोबरा दिखाया जाता है, उसके आंखें बांध दी जाती है, चेयर पे उसको बिठाया जाता है, बांध देने के he will be hopping in the room, so ताकि एक जगह वो बैठे और वो स्नेक को छोड़ के बंद कर दिया जाता है. Are you with me? और ये डॉक्टर्स बाहर आ जाते हैं, they watching from the other room. ग्लास से देखते हैं कि क्या हो रहा है. And they are watching also कि snake का पोजीशन क्या है. वो snake आके और कोने में जाके सो जाता है. Okay? ये काफी देर तक these people are watching him. और थोड़ी देर के बाद ये दोनों डॉक्टर्स आते हैं. ऑल पेन मालूम है ना आपको? तो वो 2 ऑल पेन लेके आते हैं और एक डॉक्टर उसको प्रिक करता है. and in few minutes of time. ठीक है, क्या वजह हो सकती है? एक वजह ये भी हो सकती है कि भाई वो जो needles हैं, they may be containing poison. Maybe this can be one option. This can be one option. The point I would like to tell you is, जैसे आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा है कि जिस मोमेंट से स्नेक आया है तब से लेके उसके मन में जो थॉट्स प्रोसेस हुए, नेगेटिव थॉट्स, negative stress, all these were creating the chemical composition जो था बॉडी का, it was already changing because of this. इसको आपको सबको ध्यान देना है. एटीट्यूड की क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है? कम से कम बाकी सब चीजें छोड़ दीजिए. एटलीस्ट योर ओन हेल्थ, for the sake of your health, mental health, physical health, attitude is so important. And it was nothing to do with poison and anything, but because of the poison you yourself have created because of negative emotion, negative thoughts, negative, stress and all those things. तो मैं कम से कम आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, कल सुबह जब आप इस संस्थान में आए, I will be traveling back, but remember this snake, कि हम कैसे इसको for our own good sake try to get out of this negative attitude, negative thinking to safeguard your health. Can I go ahead? तो अभी तक हमने नेगेटिव एटीट्यूड की बात की. तो नेगेटिव एटीट्यूड के फायदे नुकसान ये होते हैं कि यू ऑलवेज फील इनसिक्योर. अब आप तो सभी यहाँ के कर्मचारी, आप अपने आप को देखिए, मैं भी हूँ उसमें आपके साथ. खुद को देखिए, अपने कलीग्स को जज करिए, अपने आप को जज करिए. Negative people will always be insecure and bitter, always be resentful, purposeful lives and all that. Politics and manipulation. Negative people will be always, कैसे सबको खुश रखे. High stress for themselves and others. आप देखेंगे जैसे नेगेटिव पर्सन आपके पास आता है, अरे यार confusion, indecisiveness. People don't take risks. They don't take decision. That is the decision they have taken. Then I'm not going to take a decision. Lower productivity. ये मेरे ख्याल से हमारे लिए सबसे बड़ा सोच का विषय आज के फाउंडेशन डे के ऊपर कि we have enormous potential and talent, skills, but we seldom use it to the fullest. We always underperform. बचा के रखना चाहते हैं. मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है कि if you don't show your talent, if you don't show your skills, if you enhance, क्या होगा उसका? How it is going to help you in some way? जैसे मैं आपको मेरा उद्बोधन में आपको बताया कि I have a lot of so many international experience. But if I don't share those learning, if I don't share those wisdom with you, what am I going to do with keeping with myself? So please don't lower the guard on productivity. In fact, your attention should be how can I give more than what I'm getting from this institution. Correct? हर वो चीज सोचनी चाहिए. Lack of discipline, courage, and all that. Fault-finding nature, unnecessary criticism. एक unnecessary criticism का उदाहरण देख सकता हूँ मैं. हमारे हिंदुस्तान में चाय बनती है. नॉर्मली चाय कौन बनाता है आपके घर में? मैडम ज्यादातर. ठीक है, हमारा व्यवस्था है. मेरे घर में भी कभी कभार मैं बना लेता हूँ कभी. लेकिन देखिए कुछ हस्बैंड ऐसे होते हैं कि समझ गया. ये थोड़ी देर मान लीजिए जिसने भी बनाई है, लेट्स बी म्यूट, जिसने भी बनाई है. लेकिन देखिए जो भी पार्टी उसको फ्रीली हैप्पीली रिसीव कर रही है, they will always say यार शक्कर ज्यादा हो गई, या तुमने चाय को ज्यादा उबाल दिया, या दूध को कम किया, दूध को ज्यादा किया. Instead of enjoying a cup of tea being served to you, we start finding in a small issue like a cup of tea, we start finding it. होता है? आप सभी के मुस्कान बता रही है कि आपने ये महसूस किया है. So avoid it. तो पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव की हम बात करेंगे। ये एक स्लाइड में एक जेनेसिस आई एम गिविंग। पॉजिटिव पीपल विल बी ऑलवेज मोटिवेटेड टू सेल एज वेल टू द पीपल अराउंड देम। नेगेटिव पीपल ऑलवेज ब्लेम। मैंने तो सब ठीक किया था, मेरे से जो बन पाया मैंने किया, अब आप जानो। जैसे सर ने एक अच्छा जवाब बताया, मैं क्या करूं। दूसरा है पॉजिटिव पीपल विल ऑलवेज इंस्पायर, नेगेटिव पीपल विल ऑलवेज कंप्लेन। एग्री है? Can I continue?
Yes.
Positive people will always push the entire team to the success. Negative people will always avoid. They will worry more than trying to do something. Positive will be proactive. Negative will be तो सोचना है कि am I taking proactive approach or I'm reactive when I have been asked for the question. This is also another interesting. Positive people will always see new perspectives. Negative people will see problems in even the opportunity comes to them. Last, very important is positive people will be growth mindset. Negative people will be fixed mindset. Growth mindset के ऊपर एक बहुत अच्छी किताब है, मैं चाहूँगा आप सब लोग पढ़ें उसको। किताब का नाम है ग्रिट, GRIT, ग्रिट। इसका YouTube पे वीडियो देखिएगा। एंजेल का नाम है, ऑथर का नाम है एंजेल। Yes, you have read that book.
Yes.
You recommend?
Yes, sir.
Strongly or only recommend?
I strongly recommend because in the initial phases of that book, she went on admitting her story because her father was not having confidence in her. And
That's all you are. Got the message. तो ये किताब जरूर पढ़िएगा और इसका वीडियो देख लीजिए जिनको टाइम नहीं मिलेगा। Really beautiful video on YouTube is available. टेड पे भी है उसका टॉक। ग्रिट का मतलब क्या है? ग्रोथ माइंडसेट को आपने देखा ही है। आर का मतलब है रेजिलियंस, आई का मतलब है इंटीग्रिटी, और थर्ड लास्ट जो है टी है मींस टेनासिटी। ग्रोथ तो आपने समझ लिया। ये जो ग्रीड की जब हम बात करते हैं, शॉर्ट में बता देता हूँ बिकॉज यू मे बी puzzled कि what is that book is so interesting all about it. तो ये जो एंजेला लेडी है, she has conducted a research on students and they try to find out what makes some people unique, what makes people so successful in their life. तो उन्होंने ट्रैक किया from school to the advanced age and all that. और ऐसे क्या एलिमेंट थे? क्या it was a genetic, is it physiological, or it was environment, or some special attributes and all that. तो उन्होंने जब देखा कि what will make these children successful in the life, so as a parent, as a teacher, what I should see, what I should do. तो सबसे पहला उन्होंने देखा कि ये जो बच्चे थे, इसमें ये मत सोचिए कि गरीब फैमिली का या रिच फैमिली का या ये नहीं, दिस इज ऑल टुगेदर, ऑल सम टुगेदर। मतलब ये मत सोचिए कि रिसोर्सेज है तभी होगा, रिसोर्सेज नहीं होने के बावजूद भी आपने देखा कि इंडियन पीपल या पीपल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड हैव achieved big success in their life. One of them was growth mindset, so they don't give up for the problems, difficulty they encounter. Resilience, जैसे मैंने अभी बताया, you know what resilience is. Integrity मतलब if I want to be successful in my life, how I am hardworking, how honest, how loyal I am to my own goal of my success. ऐसा नहीं कि short term लेके मैं बाहर आ गया. If I have a long term to goal to achieve in my life or career, then how loyal, how committed, how hardworking, how honest I am to myself. That was one of the attributes which was identified among those students who got successful. And last was tenacity. आप सब जानते हैं कि रास्ते जब हम चलेंगे, there will be obstacles, there will be difficulties, there will be problems, challenges, issues will be there. Whether you will give up or you will not give up in spite of all these limitations and all. That is tenacity. अगर किसी रास्ते से सक्सेस नहीं मिल रहा है हमको, we'll change the approach, we'll change the way, we'll change the method, we'll change the technique. That is tenacity we're talking about. Okay? So you wrote this book. There are many books, but this is strongly advocated because you are all teachers. अब सवाल ये आता है कि हम एटीट्यूड को क्यों नहीं चेंज कर सकते? जैसे आप सभी काफी तो मेरे से भी सीनियर फैकल्टी यहाँ पे थी, उनका एक्सपीरियंस हो सकता है, उनका कमिटमेंट हो सकता है, एक पर्सनल ईगो भी होता है। अरे क्या है जॉइंट डायरेक्टर बताएगा पीएसएससी आएगी, तो ये तो एजुकेशन तो मेरा पोर्टफोलियो, ये तो सिविल इंजीनियर है, व्हाट ही इज टॉकिंग ऑन एटीट्यूड, ये भी हो सकता है। Happens, nothing. I respect that ego. Then social surrounding. I want to change. See, I want to change, but the people around me, the group with whom I am associated, the group with whom I am moving, they do not allow me. क्या होगा? अरे ठीक है, वो आया लेक्चर देके चला गया, क्या करूँ? हम तो अपने हिसाब से वैसे। So your social surrounding also pull you down for experimenting, taking step, taking initiative. So this is also inhibits changing your attitude. And fear of failure. मान लीजिए हमने हीरोगिरी की, चेंज किया अपने आप को कल, देख मैं तो बोलूँगा नहीं होगा तुमसे। So that fear of failure also stops you doing any change, innovations in yourself and all. These are some factors. You can see more factors on that. क्या एटीट्यूड को मेजर किया जा सकता है? बिल्कुल सही जवाब। Attitude can be measured. This I am adding because we are all teachers and as a parent also we need to know. There are many ways. एक तो systematic observation करके हम लोग कर सकते हैं। आप तो RIE के faculty तो आप सब जानते हैं कि survey से भी हम identify कर सकते हैं। At an organizational level, we can find out peer, survey where you find the people have problem with attitude. दूसरा feedback from the colleagues, employees. अब तो 360-degree feedback आ गया हमारा teacher का 360-degree feedback has been advocated in NEP 2020. So this is also going to see your relationship with your students, how students see you, how your colleagues see you. Correct? So this is also going to help you in measuring the attitude and all that. Using standard inventories are also available. हॉलीवुड की पिक्चर है, फिल्में हम लोग देखते हैं वेस्टर्न में। यूएस में जो है, इट्स अ बिग इंडस्ट्री। It's a big industry on investing by the organizations for changing the attitude of the employees. Every year, billions of dollars are invested by the employers to change the attitude of the people. And this industry is larger than the Hollywood industry. So you understand now why it is so important to talk about attitude in this context. So hugely people are looking for the right kind of attitude. आप उसके anecdotal records भी देख सकते हैं इस व्यक्ति के, that will help you to find out whether he or she has issue with attitude and all that. हम group भी कर सकते हैं attitude के हिसाब से, performance होते हैं, जैसे जितना काम बताया उतना ही हम करेंगे. Achievers, they will go beyond. जितना पूछा गया है उससे ज्यादा करके जाएंगे, वो performance होती है. तीसरा है missionaries. But हमको तो चाहिए हिंदुस्तान के लिए. We want a mission, to see, Atmanirbhar Bharat. We want to see Atmanirbhar Bharat, and that's why it is very, very important that you should cultivate your employee, your colleagues to become more visionary, to become more missionaries. Can I continue?
Yes.
So, एटीट्यूड को चेंज करने के लिए कई सारे तरीके हैं, ऐसा आप सोच सकते हैं, लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे every one of us sitting in this room is unique, करेक्ट? तो कोई ऐसा मैजिक फॉर्मूला नहीं होगा जो सबको काम है. So you have to understand yourself that one size do not fit all. Correct? So that's why the first, if you value attitude in your life from starting today, you have to see that attitude means one size do not fit all. क्योंकि individual differences are there, so I'll just leave because of time factor. मेरे ख्याल से 2-4. I have another 5-10 minutes, Sharma sir.
Sir, take as much as you want, sir.
शाम तक चलते हैं.
Sure, sir.
How many of you with me? Oh, I guess.
At least I am.
I'm so blessed today. पहला स्टेप, कल सूरज देखेंगे आप लोग सुबह का, तो सुबह का सूरज जब उठेगा देखेंगे आप, मिरर में आप अपने आप को देखेंगे, मुझे एक बात जरूर याद करके बाद में बोल जाएंगे। कल जब हम अपने आप को देखेंगे, look at yourself, tell yourself that you are the wonderful gift of God. Correct? You are the wonderful gift of the God has created, very unique, no substitute, no duplicate. फिल्मों में होता है, रियल लाइफ में नहीं होता. करेक्ट है? So you are a wonderful gift of God. हिंदुस्तान में क्या होता है? कई बार हमें गिफ्ट मिलता है और हम बचा के रखते हैं उसको, बाद में खोलेंगे, है ना? We'll see later. You really don't know God has beautifully gifted you so many good qualities within you, beautiful talent, beautiful values you don't know. तो अपने आप को खोलिए. Look at within yourself. What are the beautiful things God has gifted you and what you are doing with this gift? मुझे लगता है कई सारे लोग ऐसे होंगे उन्होंने अपना गिफ्ट तो कभी खोला ही नहीं होगा, देखा ही नहीं होगा कि मुझे गिफ्ट मिला है. एग्री? तो कल सूरज उठने के बाद जब आप अपने आप को देखेंगे, खुद से सवाल करने के बजाय ये देखेंगे कि I am the beautiful creation of the God and He has given me, gifted so many good qualities that I need to. दूसरा, you know, कई बार हम लोग कंफर्ट जोन में रहते हैं और कंफर्ट जोन में कभी ग्रोथ नहीं होती. कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर जितना आप जाएंगे उतनी आपकी गिफ्ट बढ़ती जाएगी, आपकी ग्रोथ बढ़ती जाएगी, आपका कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ता जाएगा. Just to give an example, when I was working with NITTDR for such a long time, most of the time I was conducting program for teachers from India, especially Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, Chhattisgarh, and some northeast states. But the moment, you know, I joined Manila International Organization, I was conducting program for Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka. I can give you so many names of the countries I was working. So you see, conducting a program for a participant in India, then an international participant, then conducting a training program which involves all these, you know, 27 countries. See, the confidence has to be very different than what I was having. So I felt that the moment I stretched myself through this comfort zone to, you know, extend it to non-comfort zone, I started feeling, gaining my confidence, you know, confidence also. So my request to all of you is that don't go, you know, in your comfort. See what you have done something new, which something you have not tried before. जितना हम अपने आप को खींचेंगे, मुझे लगता है, the more it will be better for you. दूसरा, आपकी जो life है, you know, we are going to have only one life. We don't know what will happen. Maybe Hindu mythology will have some other story to tell, some other mythologies from other regions. Yeah. But assuming we have one life to go. So, you know, you are the director of your movie. You are the actor, you know. You are the musician. Everything is within you of your life. तो हमें देखना है कि हमारी लाइफ, we have very left short life because already आधी लाइफ हम जी चुके हैं, correct? Average life अगर हम इंडिया की बात करेंगे तो we are already lost so many years. तो ये जो बची कुची लाइफ है, you have to think. I want to make it black and white. I want to make it colorful. I want to make it musical, interesting. Choice is on me. How I want to make my film so interesting. People should be able to look at my film. Correct it? तो कोशिश करिए. पहला, wonderful gift of the God. Second is move out of your comfort zone. तीसरा है, you are the director of your movie that you have. I think I talked to you brief, so I will just leave this one. There are a couple of steps, you know, that I will talk to you. To cultivate positive attitude, you know, there are a number of ways you can think about it. First is change the focus. Look for the positive. मैं जैसे change the focus बोलता हूँ तो कई बार लोग चश्मा बदल देते हैं, but यहाँ चश्मा बदलने से नहीं, नजरिया बदलने की बात है. करेक्ट है? एक प्रैक्टिकल उदाहरण बताता हूँ मैं. अच्छा उदाहरण नहीं बट सीखने वाला उदाहरण है। कई बार we get a story about accident, road accident, train accident, देखा होगा आपने, कई बार हमारे सामने भी होता है। Have you seen जो बेचारे passengers है who met with an accident are admitted into the hospitals, correct? अलग अलग वार्ड में होते, स्पेशल वार्ड, इंटेंसिव वार्ड है। कभी गए क्या? मतलब देखने के लिए, नॉट टू एक्सपीरियंस इट। जरूर जाइएगा कभी मौका मिले। You are all teachers, that's why I'm telling you this. अब देखेंगे कि जब वो एक्सीडेंट के शॉक से उभर जाते हैं, when you come out of that accidental shock, और आप थोड़े कंपोज हो जाते हैं, अपने आप को करते हैं, कंफर्ट करते हैं, then you start looking at the people जो आपके साथ उसी बस में थे या ट्रेन में थे, और आप जब देखते हैं अलग अलग लोगों को, अरे यार उसका तो हाथ कट गया, उसका तो पैर फ्रैक्चर हो गया, उसका तो स्लिप डिस्क हो गया, मेरा देखो थोड़ा सा ब्रूसेस है, माइनर है, आई एम फाइन। आपके नजरिया बदल गया है? You started looking positive in that extraordinary circumstances also. Instead of looking at negativity, you started looking positivity. अरे यार मेरा हाथ बच गया, I'm blessed by the grace of the God. Compared to him and her, I'm much better. So that is what I am seeing. That every day in your life, look at that something positive happened to me. Change the focus. Every day, that habit makes you positive. ये बच्चों में प्रॉब्लम है। सेकंड जो स्टेज है, मेक अ हैबिट ऑफ डूइंग इट नाउ। तो स्पेशली प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन की बात हमने की। तो प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन अगर हम लगातार करते जाएंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि यू एंड अप विद हैविंग नेगेटिव एटीट्यूड। दैट्स व्हाई हमारे हिंदी में तो अच्छी कहावत है, कल करे सो आज, आज करे सो अब। बेसिकली दैट। तो प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन लीड्स टू नेगेटिव एटीट्यूड। थर्ड जो स्टेज है which I value and respect a lot, develop an attitude of gratitude. I told you my presentation when I began, I'm so gratified to NCERT. If I'm standing here today, it starts with my parents, my gurus, my teachers, my well-wishers, even friends like you, who build the strength, who build the confidence, who build the competence in me. That's why I'm here. So a person who is always remembered with gratitude in their life, or always seem to be the positive people in their life, no matter what comes their way. I repeat, no matter what comes their way, but they will always remain positive in their life. तो कोशिश करिए कि हम भी ग्रेटिफाइड रहें। आप सोचिए एनसीईआरटी ने क्या नहीं दिया मुझे या आपको नहीं दिया। मैं तो कई बार सोचता हूँ कि हम वापस तो कर ही नहीं पाएंगे। What we have got from this best institution. It is impossible to give back what we have achieved. But there are people, in spite of this, मेरा एक increment होती है। मेरा MSc के नहीं किया, मुझे ये मिलना था वो दिया है। मैं तो टाइटल इसके लिए हूँ, एग्जीक्यूटिव क्लास में आने के लिए, सब ने तो मेरे को इकोनॉमी क्लास में भेजा। मतलब we don't value what we have already invested. चलिए आगे चलते हैं। Getting into a continuous education program. I hope कि having this last almost 1 hour of interaction, you started valuing attitude, right? But do you think a 1 hour lecture or interaction can change your attitude? It may bring you awareness, make you conscious about this, but you cannot, अगर ऐसा होता तो मैं भी रामदेव बाबा जैसा राजेश बाबा बन के घूमता था। I could have also traveled with this PowerPoint, अलग-अलग शिविर लगाता and change the people's attitude. So it is not like that. So my request is, to have a long-lasting impact of our discussion. Long-lasting impact of our discussion. I would request you to read some more books, watch videos. There are so many good literature, scriptures. These all needs to be continuously. आपको क्या लगता है पॉजिटिव पीपल को नेगेटिव इमोशंस नहीं आते होंगे? आते हैं, but they know where to stop and they rebounds come back to the positive. This is important. एक अच्छी बात मुझे लगती है कि we have always associate people with high moral values. जब हम उनकी तरफ देखेंगे, उनके साथ जुड़ेंगे, तो आप देखेंगे कि आपका भी जो कद है, आपका जो ऑरा है, that also rises to a higher level than other. Let the things to be done. आज के presentation में, discussion में आपने महसूस किया होगा, I still need to learn something. Even as simple as how to make PowerPoint presentation, how to deliver presentation, how to communicate, how to interact. So many things you might have observed and learned in these discussions and all that. So if you start learning those gaps, identifying your own gaps, and if you start investing on this, I'm sure you are already moving towards developing attitude. Last 1 or 2 slides now. Willingness होना चाहिए to take the new perspective day to day life. जैसे हम RI में कई बार क्या होता है, as a faculty, वही टॉपिक, वही क्लास, वही सेशन, year after year we are conducting. PhD की पहले या BSc PhD की है या inclusive education की है या ICT की है, we are continuously involved in some or one of the subjects. But मैं चाहूँगा अगर if you really want to get into this, आपको हर बार सोचना होगा, आप नया क्या कर सकते हैं, नया क्या एलिमेंट ला सकते हैं जो हमने लास्ट टाइम नहीं किया, क्योंकि we need openness to try the things differently. आपको शायद ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि एक बार सर ने पावर पॉइंट बना दिया, वही कैसेट बजा दिया हमने, तो I'm honestly by heart I'm telling you, swear that I continuously read, update, modify, add new values, new stories, new anecdotes, so many things I try to. Because when I am advocating you, I have to also think about that. Focusing on finding new ideas. आज मुझे लगता है बहुत सारा जो discussion हमने किया है, I'm sure you must have got some thoughts. I will try asking. You cannot do everything, so many ideas may be there. But let us try to zero down certain ideas where you can focus and take this one. Striving. This is the most important. यहाँ थोड़ा मैं आप सबका लास्ट में ध्यान देना चाहूँगा. To create values in new ways. All of us are going to be someday retiring. And yes or no? आप तो काफी young हैं. हो सकता है maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Doesn't matter. You may be moving from this organization to another organization, or moving from one position to the another positions, ladder up. मेरा ये कहना है कि आप जिस भी डिपार्टमेंट के साथ, जिस भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ हो, you must create values. मतलब you must leave your footprint. I repeat, you must leave your footprints. That is very, very important. जैसे एक छोटी सी कहानी मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ. कल मुझे बताया गया कि किसी हमारे यहाँ पे एक सीनियर व्यक्ति कल रिटायर हुए, फेयरवेल प्रोग्राम हो. तो एक फेयरवेल की एक छोटी सी कहानी मुझे लगता है हम सबको एक उदाहरण के लिए मैं प्रस्तुत करूँ. I am also included into this one. हिंदुस्तान में जब भी रिटायरमेंट होता है, जैसे हमारे या मेरे संस्था में डिपार्टमेंट में सेलिब्रेशन होता है ना, आप क्या भी, and we say something, dates वगैरह ये होगा. फिर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल लेवल पे हम लोग फेयरवेल देते हैं, और उस दिन इतनी सारी तारीफ होती है. मुझे लगता है अरे राजेश, आपका कम्युनिकेशन कितना अच्छा था, आपका प्रेजेंटेशन कितना अच्छा था, आपने कितना हार्ड वर्किंग थे सर, वी आर गोइंग टू मिस यू सर. तो यू माइट बी वंडरिंग कि इतने 30 साल में था तो नोबडी बॉय. Today all sudden everybody investing their love, affection and all that. Am I so good? I don't know ever. चलिए थोड़ी आगे कहानी को ले जाते हैं. अब naturally when you grow at this age, naturally you may have already adult children who are already married. बहू हो सकती है आपके साथ, दामाद हो सकते हैं, वगैरह वगैरह, ये सब लोग हो सकते हैं. और कई बार आपने देखा होगा कि ऐसे सेलिब्रेशन में they also participate, right? They also participate and then they join in the celebrations and all. जब ये सब हो गया, आपने रेलवे में देखा है कभी प्लेटफॉर्म पे लास्ट गाड़ी जब वो पार्क करता है ड्राइवर, फूल माला के साथ उनके यूनियन के द्वारा सेलिब्रेशन ड्रम्स एक हीरोइक वेलकम किया जाता है. देखा है आपने? You should see something. I have seen many times. हमारे घर में भी ऐसा था कि हमारे मतलब हम सब लोग not आप सोच रहे सर भी हो रहा है क्या? तो when this heroic welcome is there, naturally your friends, family, your in-laws, everybody will be there to witness this special occasion on your last day. Naturally, there will be a lot of fun, food, everything will be there, happy, everything, all that. Pay ध्यान से what I'm saying now. Naturally, आपकी wife या आपके husband जो भी है, he or she will be busy in making the arrangement for the guests, correct? पर एक टाइम आएगा कि सबने खाना वगैरह खा लिया, सब खुश. Okay, Rajesh, see you tomorrow. बहुत मजा आया आपकी पार्टी में वगैरह करके. सब अपने अपने कमरों में सोने जा रहे, बहू जा रहे, बेटा जा रहा है, सब जा रहे. Wife भी saying कि see you tomorrow. मैं बहुत थक गई या मैं थक गया हूँ. Let's call it a day. Have a good sleep. Good night. उस रात को everybody left now. You are all alone yourself. सुन रहे ना? You all पूरा दिन आपका हेक्टिक रहा, इवेंटफुल रहा, and now finally you are at your home. Hypothetically मान लीजिए आप किसी भी धर्म के हो, रात को 12 बजे एक hypothetical, if your God in which you believe, he or she comes to you and asks you, Rajesh, what you have done, what you have done to this life, gives me goosebumps. I've given you the best of the organization to serve in this country, correct? Medical facility, LTC facility, हर साल 2 BA, हर साल increment, foreign travel, trips, consultancy, money, name, fame, everything I have given you. What you have given back to this institution? Have you performed to the best of your abilities? Have you tried the best of your abilities to do this to this institution? अगर मान लीजिए ऐसा अगर आपसे ऐसा होता है, उस वक्त अगर आपकी आंखें नीचे झुकती हैं, tried, but I have not tried to the best of me. I could have done better. I could have done more. Somehow, I have not done to that expectation which he was having. तो अगर आपका बैंक बैलेंस करोड़ों का है, आपका GPA, you have the gratuity, you have lakhs of rupees, but दिल में आपको एहसास है कि I have not been honest to myself, I have not been honest, truthful to society, I have not been truthful to my organization who have given me so much abundantly. सोचिए आपको लगता है कि remaining life you will forget this? Honestly बोलिए, दिल पे हाथ रखते, can you forget this? आप दुनिया को हंसी का चेहरा दिखा सकते हैं, मुस्कुराता हुआ चेहरा दिखा सकते हैं, लेकिन जो दिल में शिकवा है खुद के प्रति, क्या उसको मिटा सकते हैं? नहीं कर सकते. My request to all of you on this foundation day, I'm sorry I'm making you emotional, but this is a good reflection to all of us. कि let's try to do something. Whatever remaining time you have left with this institution, wherever you are, तो कोशिश करिए. तो मेरे ख्याल से इसमें तो कोई बात ही नहीं आती. You are excellent listeners. I'm seeing you for the last 1 hour. I respect that. Let us support each other. Make RI one of the best RIs of the country, of NCERT. And if that we can do together, I think I'm sure we will do it. So friends, to conclude the session, I think I told you our personality determined. How is our approach to life? Our relationship with the people. How we take problems to opportunities. दूसरा, हमारा एटीट्यूड ही हमारे सक्सेस और फेलियर का लाइफ का मंत्र बताता है. तो फ्रेंड्स, this session में I tried to dedicate all this discussion today to NCERT, to all the NCERT family who all are watching me online and all that. My humble purpose was to create, sensitize you, aware about you this one. rather than only talking about vocational education, but I thought to draw more meaning, more, broad perspective of life to do meaningful contribution for education, for vocational education.
So now you have a choice.
Starting tomorrow, you have a choice. You really want to change or not? So thank you.
Today itself.
Thank you. Winston Churchill said beautifully, attitude is, a little thing that makes a big difference. Thank you everyone for your wonderful.